news and knowledge make it past through the veil of repression, only through the efforts of the courageous men and women who risk their lives to make their stories heard. In chronicling 50 years of struggle, the story of Tibetan women elucidates the consistent efforts, perseverance, and selfless dedication that characterize the integral role that Tibetan women have played in the Tibetan freedom struggle. On March 12, 1959, Tibetan women stood united against the communist regime's unlawful occupation of the nation. As the defiant crowd grew in number, a few women rushed to the stage and spoke out forcefully in resistance to China's illegal actions. This historical day marked the first active, non-violent protest against the Chinese occupation. Many of the women who stood up on that epic day sacrificed their lives in pursuit of freedom. Those that escaped with their lives found themselves imprisoned and subjected to inhuman torture. After those fatal days, many Tibetan women fled across the border, seeking asylum along with His Holiness the Dalai Lama. When these women reached Kalimpong, India, they worked to establish an organization for women in exile. As the women in Tibet were struggling to find steady footing, the women in exile fought to help them from the free side of the border. Tilip Chudin, a nun that emerged as a renowned guerrilla leader in the large-scale rebellion of 1969, was captured and executed by the Chinese military forces on September 26, 1969. Over 30 others were also executed that day. Later on, through the years of the 1960s, 70s, and mid-80s, the women in exile came together and with much conviction rebuilt the Tibetan Women's Association in India. Thus, the association that was first founded in Pasam, Tibet on March 12, 1959 was reborn in Dharamsala, India on the 10th of September 1984. 25 years hence, the sacrifices of the martyrs has succeeded in creating one of the most powerful women's organizations in Tibetan history, with 49 chapters worldwide across 4 continents, Asia, Europe, America, and Australia, and over 15,000 members. TWA has since its re-establishment committed itself to a number of social, political, religious, and educational initiatives. However, principal imperatives have always been paramount. When nuns staged a protest along the Pakur in 1987, they ushered in a new era of Tibetan resistance, carried out entirely by a new generation of Tibetan women. Even incarcerated, the Tibetan patriots never gave in. When a recording device was smuggled into the notorious Drapchi prison, 14 nuns imprisoned within were able to record songs and messages about life in prison and their faith in Tibet. TWA's publication, Light in the Abyss, pays tribute to the sublime courage, devotion, and defiance. In 1987, TWA initiated the Tibetan Nuns Project under the auspices of the Department of Religion and Culture of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and subsequently led this revolutionary Tibetan Nuns Project to self-sustainability. Non-violent political resistance, however, has always formed TWA's core mission. Since the kidnapping and incarceration of the 11th Panchen Lama in 1995, TWA has fought for his freedom and safety. On September 20, 2005, at the 36th session of the United Nations Commission for the Rights of Child, TWA international audience. 2005 was marked the International Year of Panchen Lama, and TWA spearheaded several campaigns calling for his immediate release, including an All-India Peace March in March 2005 and Free the Panchen Lama concerts held on the Panchen Lama's birthday. TWA is adamant that these campaigns to create in the United States of America and Poland in Europe. TWA's participation at the International Women's Peace Conference signified complete international recognition of Tibetan women's achievements in the international peace politics, and thus bring about true and substantive changes for Tibetan women inside Tibet. Silk clouds cast the darkening shadows over Tibet. We will not back down. Tibetan women will stand up, bear witness, and fight for our people, for our culture, for our land, until freedom is restored in Tibet.
Thank you so much, Anila, for presenting the plight of Tibetan women and their violation of human rights there in many ways. I may call upon Rajesh Mudolkarji, who runs lots of charity in different countries of Southeast Asia, especially Bali, Indonesia, to come and honor Anila. Please give us a chance to serve to you a moment of honor. Now, I am going to introduce, as I have told you in the beginning, Dr. Geshe-la Damdul, Dorji Damdul, is the director of Tibet House in Lodi Road, New Delhi. Tibet House is a place of learning and learning about Tibet and many other issues. On behalf of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, this is the office where we learn more about Tibet and also learn Tibetan language. We also learn philosophy. And Geshe-la has been involved in many works which are very pioneering work. He had just started last week a new program called MA in Tibetan Buddhist philosophy. This is the first time introduced and was inaugurated by His Holiness the Dalai Lama last month. And Geshe-la has been very, very busy here and there, and I'm very proud of him to be here to be with us and then give us some of the lecture. Please, Geshe-la, come and bless us by your presentation.
Respected Dr. Rajesh Gogna ji, and my very dear friend Dr. Amarji Valoshan ji, and Venerable Anila, and my dear friend in the University Professor of Buddhist Studies, and Mr. Vijay Kranji, a very dear friend. It is a great joy for me to be here. One, to see that a number of Indian youngsters are here, Okay, so in fact, the early speakers, they already laid the ground for my talk here. What I'm going to speak a little bit, not too much about, is about the same why this very beautiful nation, Tibet, why this beautiful nation, Tibet, should not die. This is what I'd like to share with you. And in what way? Should this beautiful nation die, what repercussions are there in the world? So this I'd like to share with you from various angles. In fact, when I was as young as many of the youngsters here, aged like 18, 19, 20, 13, I thought, it was my basic belief that if you have the truth, there's there's everyone else to stand with you. And then, as I grow older, particularly my exposure to the Western world, in England, 2003, when I was there in Cambridge, meeting with scholars, meeting with sympathizers, meeting with the business people, politicians, and then here in India coming back, particularly in 2009, when I was based when I moved to Delhi, and then meeting with all the prominent, very great supporters of Tibet, like Mr. Vijay, and then later I was so fascinated to see that we are not alone. For example, Dr. Lochinji is there, and then today, it is such a joy to hear, to come to know that there is the Dr. Rajesh, Gogna here, and then on top of all these, we have the young faces. This is very inspiring. At the same time, what I learned over my, say, some 40 years of experience is that even if you have the truth, the world is still not yet civilized. Even if you have the truth, the world is still not civilized. Although UN is there, but individual nations are more powerful than UN. This is what I realized. And then at times, I thought that what's the hope for Tibet? When the whole world is still uncivilized, where the mind works and not the mind, not the truth. This is what I slowly come to discover over ages, over my particularly last 10, 15 years. I started to discover that. I started to feel a little demoralized. At the same time, once more, a new thought came in me, which woke me up, that a nation is dying. A nation is dying, but it is dying at a cost of something else, a profound repercussions for the world. And recently, going through the feedbacks or the public opinions of particularly youngsters, Indian youngsters, I was so inspired how they feel the threat of the communist Chinese, the Indian youngsters. I was so impressed to see that Indian youngsters, they are sensitized by the threat they feel from China. So therefore, I personally feel that the hope lies in the youngsters. And in this regard, I'd like to present a few points here. Okay. Say first of all, let me lay the ground in relation to the relationship between India and Tibet. We can track it back to as early as historically speaking, as early as 7th century AD. 7th century AD, as Mr. Vijay Gandhiji beautifully he explained this and showed it to you, that Tibet was a very sovereign, independent nation. In fact, a big empire. That was 7th century AD. King Songtsen Gampo. He was the king, King Songtsen Gampo. And what happened was that the relationship between Tibet and India started so concretely since then. So what he did was that while Buddhism was already in China, in full-fledged, he was reluctant to bring Buddhism from China, seeing that the origin of Buddhism was not China, it was India. So therefore, he deliberately put efforts as the king of the nation to send a very young, bright boys, including one very young, bright minister to India, and particularly the minister whose name is Thume Samboda, and he was given the instruction, he was given the assignment to invent Tibetan script on the basis of the Devanagari script. So this was what was done. And then on that basis, whole Buddhist philosophy, psychology, metaphysics, logic, everything was imported to Tibet there. And then in 8th century, the another king, King Trisongdesan, in Tibet, he was very powerful. And then again with the auspices, the blessings, and the inspirations, and the directions from the great Indian master, Bodhisattva Shantarakshita, great Indian master, the whole Buddhism started to take root there in terms of philosophy, psychology. So from that point of view, Tibetans, in the minds of the Tibetans, India is revered as the land of the holy beings, Arya Bhumi. This is the kind of relationship between India and Tibet. And so meanwhile, say in relation to the Tibetan culture of the food, it was mostly imported from China. In relation to the Tibetan culture of the dress, most imported from Mongolia. But in terms of the philosophy, psychology, and the wisdom was imported from India. So that way we see that there was such a close ties between Tibetans and the Indians, and it is for this reason that His Holiness the Dalai Lama, while he is revered with such a dignity, respect all over the world, he is still revered. From his side, he always refers to India, and he refers to himself as a son of India. So this is the kind of the magnitude of the respect and the consideration, the feeling of closeness that His Holiness feels and the Tibetans feel towards Indians. And at one point, I was so amazed, this is what we need to keep in mind. What His Holiness mentioned was that if I were to choose, if I'm given only two choices, whether Tibet should be assimilated with China or with India, I would say we should be assimilated with India. Because India has the legitimacy. Because whole wisdom determines the culture, wisdom determines the civilization. And the wisdom was all imported from India, not from China. From China, at the most, the food was imported. So that way, this was the kind of the closeness that His Holiness feels towards the Indians. Okay. Then, the next point that, which came to me quite seriously several years ago, was that before the advent of China in Tibet, Tibet was a buffer state between India and China. And China, since as early as 7th century AD, China, communist China, no, not communist China, China in general, was very complicated since as early as 7th century AD, if not before that. Very complicated. And it only believes in expansionism. And many of the youngsters, Indian youngsters, they are sensitized by that. And recently, just look at the news. Everywhere there's problem with China. Go to Ladakh, go to Arunachal, go to Sikkim, Myanmar, Philippines, Vietnam, go everywhere. It simply believes in what is known as expansionism. Expansionism means never satiated with what one has. And if there's a possibility that China can somehow cross over to Delhi, they will not hesitate to do it. They will not hesitate to do it. They even dare to reject, to simply condemn what the UNO is saying. So from that point of view, Tibet had been a great land of a buffer state between China and the two giants of Asia. And oftentimes, because there's a little problem here, the Tibetans, some may think that, oh, if Tibet is assimilated in China, then we don't have any problem. No. Then you are sharing border not with Tibet, with China, and who believes only in expansionism. In this connection, what I'd like to share with you was that we should be, in fact, Indians should be feeling so grateful to His Holiness the Dalai Lama. I'd like to share one thing with you.